There are stories that no one sees. Stories that unfold in silence behind closed doors. While the world moves on unaware, mine is one of them. Years ago, I stood at the center of a storm. It wasn't a metaphorical one. It was real, brutal, relentless. It began when my dad, in his wisdom, chose to include all his children, those from his first marriage and those from his second, in his will. It was his act of fairness, of kindness, of love. But what followed was a cruel unraveling. My own siblings waged war, claiming that he was insane, breaking authorities, rewriting truth. They cut us off. Me, my dad, his wife, and the children. They didn't want to acknowledge. They dragged us through courts, liars, character assassinations. They tried to break me physically, mentally, emotionally. They were attempts to kill me. They attacked my marriage, attempted to destroy my husband's career, tried to steal my kids, even labeled me insane. There were days I doubted my own sanity. I cried in the shower for hours so that my kids wouldn't see me crumble. My husband too was fighting to stay afloat, reclaiming his job, clearing his name, putting our family together. We were under siege. But my husband, he did not deserve it. He was the kindest among us, the one who opened his doors, his hands, his heart, without keeping score. A man who lent not only money and shelter, but time, tracks, shoulders, and laughter. He was the calm voice in our storms, always the helper. He was the silent strength behind all my sacrifices. And so when they couldn't break me, they came for him. They whispered lies in his ears, claimed to love him more than I ever could, and tried to poison his heart with stories of darkness, witchcraft. And when that failed, they struck lower, accusing him of crimes unspeakable, aimed at ejecting him out of office, branding him a predator in the very halls he had devoted his life to protecting. He didn't crumble, but I saw him bleed quietly. I watched as his name was dragged through filth, his dignity torn apart by the very people he had once carried. And I was a storm, wrapped in silence, brave by day, shattered by night. I couldn't catch all his falling pieces. I was too busy holding up the world. And that was my breaking point. Not what they did to me, no, but what they did to him. They used the trust and love our kids had for them to try and break them. They were just kids. Anka, his daughter, his friend. And for over 6 years, we built something no court could touch, a life of deep connection. We laughed, we cried, we remembered Mom together. I helped educate his youngest children. I had watched him struggle to care for a sick spouse, and I chose to honor my late mother by standing beside the woman who now stood by my dad. We became a small tribe, bound not by bloodliness alone, but by love and loyalty. But time is a quiet force. As the years wore on, and it's a mercy from God, my dad began to forget. It was God's way of erasing pain too heavy for one heart to carry. That memory began to sleep, not suddenly, but gently, like dusk, folding into night. And now Dad is at that place. And despite what his heart really, truly, desperately wanted, it shall never come to pass. Because God, in His overflowing mercy, He has given Dad His gift, calm, peace, erasure of pain. Because what Dad cannot remember, surely it cannot hurt him. God has gifted Dad forgetfulness as a means of letting go. Dad, he is 90. He remembers little, very little. But he lives in the moment, peacefully. God bless you, Dad. He is surrounded once more by the very ones who wanted him dead, not out of forgiveness, no, but from faint, doctored reconciliation, from anticipation, not by love, but by the scent of inheritance. And yet, I hold no bitterness, because I carry what they never will. The quiet mornings, the long walks, the healing laughter of my kids as they played by his side. I had him when it mattered most. I had him when he was whole, full of life, vital, with a spark, a hunger for life. And I stood by him, even as the whole world looked away. The memories. Mine was the shoulder to cry on.
Mine was a hand to hold and guide him through the darkness when pain and agony was too much for him to carry. Mine was the voice that whispered life and hope whenever he thought that life was not worth living. I sheltered him from the malicious gossip of shame that was rampantly doing its rounds in the village. I kept his dignity intact. In those dark days, I often wished there was a space for women like me, quiet warriors, not extroverts, not always understood, where I could find shelter. Just one voice, one to say, you, I know, crazy. You are not broken. You're rising. It is not just about the grief. It is the memory of injustice, betrayal, to my husband, to our kids.
Creep out of bed, try to start my day. All the colors turn to gray. Am I awake?
It wasn't just grief, it was the memory of injustice. Betrayal to my husband especially. The kind that scorches quietly and teaches you the hard way that not all good people are protected by their goodness. What kind of wound lives in a child who learns betrayal not from enemies, but from family wrapped in concern? I desperately wanted a space where I could run to. That space, it didn't exist, so I created it. Ziiva was born from that fire. Ziiva is not just a club. It is a sanctuary, a sisterhood, a quiet rebellion against invisibility. It is where women who have been bruised by betrayal, burned by silence, or burdened by responsibility can come home and remember who they are. It is a space where we laugh again, travel again, nourish our bodies and spirits again. A space where we talk about career, courage, creativity, but also about grief, loss, healing, and the beauty of simple joys. Ziiva is where passion meets purpose. It is where the woman who almost gave up learns to dance again on mountaintops, in gardens, around fires. It is where we learn the power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a whisper. You made it. You are still here. To the woman watching this, if you ever cried alone and wiped your tears before anyone could say, If you've ever been told that you are too much or not enough, and still kept going. If you ever stood up for what was right and lost everything in the process. You are Ziiva. And this place was created just for you. Welcome home.
Karibu nyumbani.
Yeah, there were good times. There were hard times. But I stood by Dad. It was not easy. That life, crying by night. And daytime, putting on this show that I'm the strongest woman in the world, because I couldn't have Dad crying on my shoulder and I'm busy crying. He was crying on my shoulder. I was just telling him, all is going to be good. All will be good. And someone had to be strong. I wasn't going to show him that we are all crumbling. And we lived through it all. It was a hard time. Mine was the shoulder to cry on. Mine was a hand to hold and lead him through the darkness when pain and agony was still heavy to carry. Mine was the voice that whispered life and hope whenever he felt that life was not worth living.